styling forms. We are going to forms. We are done with lists and then done with tables. Now let's look at forms. Nobody I know enjoys filling in forms, because filling forms or doing surveys is a lot of work. It takes a lot of effort by you filling in your details. So if you want to make yours more attractive and easier for people to use, they are likely to fill it. But if it's lengthy and it's not organized properly, it is very difficult, and most people do not like it at all. I'm going to explain how to style your forms, okay, for forms to look attractive, for people to actually like it, to actually fill in your queries. It is most common to style text input and text areas, and then submit buttons and labels on forms, because forms actually either they allow you to input your text, either a short text or a long text, or it's a lot of submit buttons, and you see this radio button and all other types of ways of filling forms, date picker and what have you. Styling text input and submit buttons is fairly easy. It is harder to get select boxes, radio buttons and check boxes to look consistent across all browsers. To achieve this, you might want to download the CSS files available at formalize.me. I've already downloaded it. You can try and download it. The author of this website has done the hard work for making forms look consistent across all browsers. Although the solution incorporates JavaScript, no prior knowledge of JavaScript, okay, is needed in order to implement the code. Now let's go to styling text input itself. The example I'm going to show you will demonstrate CSS properties commonly used with text input, most of which we've already met. So font size, we're going to talk about font size, which sets the size of the text entered by the user, and then text color, which sets a color for the text. Background color sets the background color of the input, okay. Border, it has a border around the edge of the input box, and border radius can be used to create rounded corners, okay, rounded corners. Now the focus pseudo class, okay, is used to change the background color of the text input, and then the hover pseudo class applies to the same style when the user hovers over them. We did one example in our other table. Background image is also used to add a background image to the box, because there is a different image for each input. We are using an attribute selector looking for the value of the ID attribute on each input. So this is the CSS we are going to use to style, okay. This is the CSS we are going to use to actually do our styling. We are going to understand it the better. So you see the font size, you see font color, you see background color, you see border, okay, whether it's solid, you want or dashed. All these are things we've already done. So we repeat, you see background repeat, whether you want to repeat or no repeat, or repeat X and whatever. We've done all these ones, so we're just going to look at it in practice, okay. Let's go to our text editor to actually check how it is going to appear on our browser. Now it's important to visit the formalize.me. I have gone and then downloaded some of the styles. Let me just quickly open it and then go through some of them. We cannot do all. When you're able to go through most of them, you look for the codes that are actually going to work for you. So let me just open this file. So this is actually showing examples of form elements. So you can see these are checkboxes. Okay, and we explain why we use checkboxes and why we use radio buttons. We explain that checkboxes allows you to choose more than one option, whilst the radio buttons allow you to choose only one. You can't choose two radio buttons at a time. These are also drop down. Okay, you see. So if you want to fill a full form and want to make it attractive, you can just use this particular element. This is also meant for you to enter your text. Okay, these are also buttons, input buttons, input tag, link button. These are also what multiple select groups. Very beautiful. Your URL, you can enter it, email, enter it, your password, you enter it, date of birth. Wow, this is a date picker also, number, so you can use the incremental or the phone number also entered here. It's so beautiful. This form is so beautiful. It's so beautiful. And you see file upload, it allows you to upload your files on the form. So this is a very beautiful form, and it contains a lot, if not all, the basic elements you use in creating your form. So you can just copy this code and then you use this in styling your form and then making basic simple edits on what you want and then what you don't want. This is a very big comment box, a bigger text area, while this gives you a smaller text area. It's so beautiful, so beautiful. Now in our text editor, we type in our HTML code for the forms. Okay, HTML codes for the forms, and a small submit button. So you see the input, the font size of 120, the color kind of gray, background color, and I give padding and what have you, and I make it block. The display should be blocked. I save it, I come to my web browser and I refresh. So I see the form, a very small form here. I'm going to also explain a problem and a solution. I'm going to display a problem that has to do with form creation and suggest solutions to the problem in subsequent slides. But you can still go to formalize.me and then make yourself comfortable with and then choose and then style whichever portions of the form element you want.